Stealth feels amazing as a Na'vi, sneaking around and taking down RDA soldiers with arrows as big as their bodies. It can be difficult to master the stealth combat, but I'm going to show you with the right weapons and skill points unlocked, it's a very satisfying experience. And not many people are aware that if you defeat RDA oil drilling sites and remain undetected, you are rewarded with extra powerful loot such as armor and weapons. So it's definitely worth the effort to master the stealth combat, and I'll show you how. This is all done on the medium difficulty. There are some really powerful stealth upgrades that you can unlock through the Hunter and Warrior skill tree, plus the Ancestor skills that I'll cover a bit later. When starting out, I recommend putting points into the Shadow Hunter and the 2 light-footed Hunters, as this will make it much harder for the RDA to detect you. Then there are so many options for increasing damage to weak spots when the target is unaware. This is so important so we can take down the RDA mech suits with 1 arrow when hitting the vents on their back. The Warrior skill tree has lots of overall damage increases and extra damage when hitting tagged enemies, so make sure you scan RDA bases before entering. It'll help you track where they are so there's no surprises when you're in there, and it will significantly increase your damage to them. Probably the most important skill for stealth is the Reconnaissance Ancestor skill. This allows you to see the patrol path of RDA soldiers. This makes it so much easier for us because we know where we need to shoot the RDA so another patrol doesn't spot them and alert the rest of the base. You can see where to unlock this skill by hovering your cursor over the skill and pressing the button next to the Show on Map prompt. This will show you exactly on the map where you can go and collect it. Now let's put it into practice. Whenever I approach RDA sites, I like to scan as much as possible from outside of the walls because I can't be detected unless there's one of those turret emplacements. From here, then I find a vantage point to climb up around on top of the walls to get a better idea of what's happening down below. Like I mentioned earlier, you always should tag the enemies because not only does it help you understand where they are so they don't sneak up on you when you're inside, but it also increases damage to every single enemy that's tagged. This is where the Reconnaissance Ancestor skill is so important, because I can see the patrol path of every nearby RDA soldier, and that shows me that this soldier right in front of me, there's no other RDA patrol that's going to walk up to him, so he's free to take out without being spotted. If you don't have the Reconnaissance skill yet, you can still do well with stealth. The main thing is to remember to be patient and don't rush in. If you hide and scan, you will see weak spots in their patrols. My preference is to prioritize eliminating RDA soldiers before the mechs, because they are easy to kill without needing to hit a weak spot, and they die silently too, not like the explosion from hitting the mech's vent weak spots. Plus the mechs are easier to track and see, so I keep them for last. Sometimes the explosion from the mech alerts nearby enemies, but you can still remain undetected. Quickly eliminate any alerted soldiers, and for alerted mechs, you need to work out which direction they are moving so you can get behind them and hit the rear vents. On large RDA sites, the RDA seem to section off the base and keep the sections well away from the other patrol groups. Use this to your advantage by attacking one group at a time. The other groups will never leave their section to accidentally stumble across the other RDA sections that you may have eliminated. I recommend you get a heavy bow as soon as possible, as it's much easier to kill the mechs, plus it travels much further than the longbow so you can remain hidden for longer. The arrows drop way too low when trying to snipe with the longbow for these ranges. The longbow is perfect for those close kills on soldiers though, as it fires much quicker and is easier to maneuver. And that is the best way to be effective in stealth combat. Just remember to be patient and not to rush. Now for that extra loot I mentioned at the start of the video. If you destroy the RDA site and remain undetected, you receive that extra loot. All of the loot crates will be available for you, whereas if you failed and were detected, some of the loot crates will already be opened and therefore empty, and you'll miss out on some of the special loot. So remember Na'vi, be stealthy and remain undetected. You will even hear your character mention how they didn't hear you coming this time. Now enjoy your loot and being the Na'vi assassin you always wanted to be. Thank you for watching, and please hit the thumbs up as it really helps my small channel out. I'll have much more Avatar Frontiers of Pandora content to come. If you want me to cover anything in particular, let me know in the comments below. Bye!